So good morning, everybody. My thought for you that I've been playing with this week, the week before Navaratri, is the concept of what you're preparing yourself for, right? Because we have in a yoga practice, is it said that, the ultimate result is that we're looking for a sense of self-realization. We're looking for a sense of an expanding of what our understanding of ourselves and the world is into something that's bigger. And Navaratri being, a celebration that is an internal transformation. That's what it means. It's a celebration of the goddess, but by celebrating that energy as you're inviting it to come and transform you from the inside out, or to transform your perspective of yourself in the world from the inside out. So I've been likening it to sort of, any important holiday in your life. What do you do before the holiday actually arrives? There's preparation. Right? You're cleaning your house, you're grocery shopping for specific food that you're going to make, you're decorating, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're making plans with family and friends and blah, 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 blah. So you're doing all of this stuff before the moment actually arrives, right? So when the moment is there, there's just that sense of pure celebration. And if that's usually missing from your, regular holidays, then, think about that, is try to get to that point where there's just the pure celebration. You're not still running around as the holiday's happening. But the same thing is true in our spiritual practice, right? Is that there's a sense that we are preparing and preparing and preparing. All of these practices are a preparation for the moment, right? That we can let go and just realize, or we can let go and just experience, right? And it's in that experiencing that we have that moment of realization, or that we have the truth of what realization is, right? And so my thought has been that, as you're preparing, what is it that you think you're preparing for? Because how you're preparing is going to set the stage. It's going to set the foundation for what you actually let yourself experience. And if in your preparation, you are so sure that what you're going to get from your effort is this very specific thing, then when you get to the moment where you can really receive, you might not receive everything that's there, because your mind is focused on only a certain piece of it, or only what you were expecting. So anything that you want from a spiritual practice, whether it's realization, it's enlightenment, it's peace, it's harmony, it's whatever it is that you want, I guarantee you have no way to comprehend it at this moment, right? Your mind can't do it. Whatever it thinks it is, it's something more than that, right? So we practice and we practice and we practice, we prepare for the moment that we can let go and receive. And if anything that you are looking for, if you can't start to feel that you are receiving it right now, this moment, then what do you think is going to happen later, right? How do you think your preparation is going to somehow make the future different than what you have right now, right? So the preparation, the internal preparation, is all for that moment when we can let go and really receive the results of our effort, right? So if you keep holding it away, one day I'll work hard enough, one day I'll get this right, one day I can have this, then it'll stay far away. Right? That moment, the holiday, the celebration never gets to occur. So the practice is the preparation, and it's preparing yourself to let go. So everything that you do at setting that stage, you also have to have the moment where you stop and you receive. And that's what I want you to do, is to practice that feeling of receiving what's here, the results of your effort, even if it feels like it's not 100% complete where you want it to be. Receive what's here, because it already is what you're asking for. It just doesn't look the way that you think it should. So eyes closed if you're not there already. And start to breathe a little deeper. If you don't give yourself this opportunity to receive, then nothing that you do is ever going to come to fruition. So deep breaths, and on your exhales, practice. Exhale, I let go of yesterday. And the next exhale, I let go of tomorrow. And the next exhale, I let go of an hour ago. I let go of 5 minutes ago. I let go of my last exhale. Continuously go into that state where you are dropping the past and the future. And even just noticing if saying to yourself, I let go, brings up a response. Notice the response, and then the next exhale, I let go of that response. What are you preparing yourself for? The experience you wish for, and why do you want it? And I exhale, I let go whatever stands in the way of what I wish for. One more deep breath in. And again, as you exhale, you release the last breath and settle into your seat. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands. Bring your hands to the front of your knees or your thighs and start to circle your torso, nice big spirals. Good. And we hold ourselves back from those moments of unadulterated joy. We hold back because we think our preparations weren't enough, or it didn't create exactly how we thought it was going to be. And so somehow we must have made a mistake. Good. Move your torso the other way, please. Say there's a story, one of the yogic stories about a Brahmin family. And so the Brahmins in the, Indian societal, situation is they're the priests. They're the priests. They're the ones that do the rituals, that do the, actual conversations with the gods, or the actions that are meant to represent that religious aspect. And so the story is there's this Brahmin family, and this young boy growing up watches his father do this ritual over and over every year. And every year he sees him do all of his preparations, come back to neutral spine, please, cat, cow, hands still at the knees or the thighs. Sees him do all of his preparations, and every time, he's cleaning the house and he's setting up, the fire to do offerings, and then he takes the dog and he ties it out in the yard, right, onto a post. And so for years, this boy watches this happen, and then he himself is an adult, and it's his turn to be doing this ritual, and he's going through all of his preparations, and he's cleaning up, and he's, has the sacrificial fire, and he says, oh my gosh, we need one more thing. And, his family's like, what? He's like, we need a dog. We need a dog. And they're like, why? They're like, we have to tie a dog up in the front yard. And they're like, what? Right? In his mind, the tying the dog up became part of the ritual, even though it had nothing to do with it. It was just his father trying to get the family dog out of the way. This is what happens to us, is we think if our preparations aren't perfect, even for ridiculous reasons, that somehow we're not going to deserve, or we're not going to be allowed to receive what we're asking for, what we're wishing for, what we're praying for. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your arms up alongside your ears. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up to the sky, pull up through your ribs, pull up through your armpits, and then lean to your right side body, stretch, extend. Good. Move your ribs a little bit wider to the right. That's it. And then let your right hand touch down to the floor, please. Left arm continues to reach. Walk the right fingertips out a little further, maybe dropping down onto your elbow if that's available. If not, stay on your fingertips. Good. Reach long through your left arm. Good. And then come all the way back up to center, please. Both arms to the sky. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up. Good. Again, pull up through your ribs. So bring the ribs in, find that arch coming out of your spine, drop your seat, drop your tail, and then lean to your left, side body stretch. Again, pulling the ribs wide to the left. So you're not just curling into your body, but you're actually moving your rib cage laterally. You're moving it to the side. And then left hand touches down, right arm continues to reach. Walk your left fingertips a little bit further away. Drop down to your forearm if you'd like. Good. Even if coming down to the elbow is not possible, walk that left hand out further so that you are, again, extending both sides of the ribs. Right butt cheek down to the floor. There you go, Perry. And then walk yourself all the way back up. Nice job. Walk straight ahead, so fingertips to the floor. Walk forward, forward fold over the crossed legs. Good. Breathing into your lower spine here. So not just the back of the rib cage, that might feel kind of easy to find, but breathe into your lower back. So pulling up through your belly and finding your breath expanding through that area at the very base of your rib cage, and maybe even feeling like below your ribs. Good. Lower spine. And then walk your torso to the right, please, over your right thigh. Good. And then come back to center, please, and walk to your left over the left thigh. Stay low, so you're turning from the low place of your waist, and keep your butt anchored to the floor. Nice. And then come back to center, please. Good. Walk the hands back up. Nice. Roll forward onto hands and knees. Step back plank pose, upward push up. Been in a big plank mood lately. But not for nothing, someone who's been in class with me a lot said one of those days after all those planks, she said her back felt amazing. So now you can't contradict that. Your back will feel amazing, I promise. Press your hands and your feet, squeeze them towards each other, and then lift your collarbones up nice and high. Good. And then curl into your belly, please. Lift your hips, press back downward facing dog. Good. Let your heels move towards the floor. Bend your knees in your down dog. So drop into that, but keep pulling your hips back. Don't drop your belly to your thighs. Pull your belly up and pull your hips back more. Good. Now start to straighten the legs. Come up onto the tippy toes of your feet. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Round into your back rib cage. Pull forward towards plank with a rounded upper back. Good. So your armpits come on top of your wrists. And then at the last moment, you lift your collarbones up, 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 and send your inner thighs up and back. That's it. Good. And then scoop the belly again, lift back up, downward facing dog. Pull your hips high. Nice. Bend your knees. Good. Don't drop your belly onto your thighs when you do that, though. Good. And then we're still scooped through the navel. Press the legs back to straight. Come up on your tippy toes. Good. Round into your upper back. Bring your armpits forward. So you're staying lifted here. So your thighs are coming to that parallel position, but you stay lifted. Keep pushing the floor away with your arms. And then at the last moment, lift your collarbones up and wide. Lift up through the back of your throat. Hug your hands and your feet towards each other. Good. And then lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need, all the way to your belly. Nice job, you guys. Point your toes back behind you. Stretch your arms straight ahead. Good. So you're doing cross body, right leg and left arm are going to lift at the same time. So as you inhale, lift the right leg and the left arm, both are straight. Good. And then release that back down to the floor. Next inhale is left leg and right arm. Good. And then release and keep doing that, alternating. Good. Opposite arm and leg. Good. Try to have it be coordinated action. So you're not lifting the one that you like better and then having the other limb follow. Is that you're actually reaching in both directions. Good. Keeping your pelvis, keeping your ribs as level with the floor as you can. So legs and arms are lifting, but you're not shifting from side to side. Good. Keep going, using your breath. Nice. You have to let yourself receive what's here. So there's the effort of the pose, whatever you're doing. And then there's what you're receiving from it. If you're going through it with the mentality of I just have to do it so that it's over, then you're not receiving much, right? You're receiving your own stress, maybe. Your own desire to be somewhere other than where you are. So practice being right here and receiving what's right here. Good. Even if it's that moment of finding where your edge is, and realizing that you can breathe a little bit past it. Notice I didn't say move past it. I said you can breathe past it. Good. Next inhale, please lift both legs up. Yep, press through the front of the pelvis. So your knees are not bending here. You're keeping the legs really long and you're drawing your tail towards your heels, but draw your low belly in and up. And then lift head, neck, and chest. Float your arms up alongside your ears. Good. And then kick your feet and move your hands up and down like you're swimming. Good. But stay in that state, right, where you are elongating your spine, where you're extending, heart forward. Low belly in, legs long, 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 long. Good. I know which one of you would drown if you were in water right now. It's those of you who aren't breathing, not the ones who aren't kicking fast enough. Ha, tricked you. Deep breath in, pull up everything, legs and arms, breathe in. Good. And then release, please, forehead to the floor. Nice job. Your preparation, it's not always about what did you do or what didn't you do. Much more often it is simply about, did you breathe through it? Did you actually feel yourself going through whatever you did? Self-realization. You already are everything that you're looking for, you just haven't noticed yet. Come up onto your forearms, please, for Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders, press down through the hands and drag back. So you're pushing into your forearms and you're dragging back. So your chest is going forward and up, like the back of your heart is going to reach forward between your arms. Good. And then the legs are long. So press through the tops of your feet. Good. That same energy of the little lift of your low belly that's sending your tail back towards your heels, long throat. Nice. Beautiful, you guys. Like you're going to drag yourself along the floor. Sarah, separate your hands a little bit more. There you go. Yeah, the idea is that if you can have your hands as wide apart as your elbows, is that will change a little bit the orientation of your arms with your shoulders. Good. Take one more deep breath, reaching long through your spine, heart up, tail back. Beautiful. And then release back onto your belly, please. Walk the hands back alongside the ribs, come back downward facing dog, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Nice job. Right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Good. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Back heel comes to 45 degrees, warrior one. So turn the back foot to 45 degrees. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Good. Hips should be facing straight ahead. Beautiful. Good. Back thigh pulls long. Watch that knee, Ronnie, that it doesn't fall out to the side, the front knee. There you go. Good, you guys. Yeah, and then again, you're reaching long from that back heel all the way up through the front of your spine is one long line. So can you start to feel that there's connection there? From the low belly, you lift up. From the ribs, you lift up. Good. One more breath. Drop your shoulders, but lift through your throat. Nice. Good. And then take your torso forward, parallel to the floor. Pause there. Spin your back heel up. Come into high lunge. So you send that outer left hip all the way forward. Good. Now, so keep the torso forward. Sorry about that. You're just lifting the back heel. So you're still leaning forward. Good. And then you're pushing off of that back foot to come into warrior three. So step up, warrior three. Left leg comes parallel to the floor. Good. And then step back to high lunge. Inhale the arms all the way up to the sky. Nice. So this is the tricky part, right? Bring your torso forward, parallel to the floor. Scoop into your belly. Stay in that orientation, just that low. Kick off of that back leg, come into warrior three. Ha, ha, ha. Nice. Good, you guys. Hands at heart center, please. Good. Start to bow forward. Stay with that lift to your low belly. Stay with that engagement through your feet. Nice, Anju. Keep going, keep going. Bow, 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 bow. Hands to the floor, standing split. Good. Bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Please stack your left hip on top of the right. Use blocks under your hands if you need them and start to make little circles with that knee. Circle, circle, circle. Good. Try to keep your standing leg nice and steady while you're making circles with that knee. So again, you're isolating the movement of that left leg. Good. And then lift and open as though you're coming into Ardha Chandrasana. So opportunity here, left hip is stacked, right hand stays on the floor or a block, left arm reaches to the sky. Open your ribs. Good. And draw that left knee long away from your armpit. Squeeze the heel in. Good. So it's a bent knee variation. That's it. And then extend that leg out to straight, please. Nice job. Step all the way back. Nice long lunge. Good. Release the hands to the floor, please. Good. And then step your left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight Parsvottanasana. Nice. Good. Drawing that outer right hip back and wide. My gosh, I think somehow many of us have gotten onto all sorts of strange legs. Your right leg should still be forward, you guys. There we go. What are you preparing yourself for? What does your effort mean to you? Because even if your mind is in a place where it says, I really don't believe that I'm ever going to deserve what it is I'm asking for. Don't get mad at that thought. Just say, all right, well, then at least I'm going to receive what I can from my effort in this moment. I guarantee that will start to train your mind to say, oh, maybe I can receive a lot more than I thought. Let go of tomorrow. And let go of yesterday. And start to receive the benefit of your effort right now. Good. One more deep breath. Scoop your belly. Good. And then step your left foot forward alongside the right, standing forward fold. Nice. Feet underneath the hips, bend your knees. Take your hands up to your thighs, please. So you're in chair pose, hands on your thighs. Start to cat-cow your spine. Good. Keep your hips nice and low. Good. So keeping your hips nice and low, you're actually putting downward pressure, right, with your hands. So you're pressing down onto the thighs to help keep them rooted. So don't just place your hands there, push down. So you're on your thighs, not your knees, but push down. Good. Keep the lower body rooted and move your spine. Awesome. And then arms up alongside your ears, please, in chair, stretch, scoop your low belly, throat back. And then come up on your tippy toes, still in chair. Drop your hips a little lower. Drop those hips, Andra. There you go. Good. Nice, Barry. Nice, Linda. And then heels to the floor, please. Hands to the floor. Straighten the legs and bow, standing forward fold. Nice. Those exhales are so important. If you forgot to breathe in the pose, make your exhales really deep. Right hand to outer left ankle, please. Left hand comes to the sky. Good. So in that spinal twist, you're pushing your inner thighs wide, you're pushing your knees wide. If you feel like your hips are falling back and your knees are locking, bend your knees a little bit, let your hips fall forward. Good. And then really push those inner knees wide, but anchor your big toes. Good. And then release back to center and go the other way. Left hand to outer right ankle, right arm comes to the sky. Good. Long, long spine. So you're scooping the belly, you're pulling the sacrum up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling, widening your inner knees, widening your inner thighs, throat back. Nice, Debbie. Good, Jackie. Let that left shoulder come in and forward a little bit more. Awesome. Release both hands down to the floor. Nice job, you guys. Step back, plank pose, upward push-up. Good. Drop your knees down to the floor, please. Armpits slightly forward, so roll forward towards the tips of your fingers a little more. Keep your navel in, keep your throat lifted. Bend your elbows lower down so that your elbows are parallel to the floor and pause. Yeah. And then navel in, ribs in, push back up to that modified plank. Wah. Yeah, don't let the belly dip when you do that. Good. Lower down again. Elbows to 90 degrees, hug in towards your ribs, pause. Pull up through your low ribs there, pull up through your belly, and then engage those shoulders, push back up to straight arms. Nice. One more time. Don't let that belly dip. Lower down. Good. Elbows bent. So you're hugging your armpits towards each other. Pull your ribs in, pull your belly in, lift through your inner thighs. Your elbows are still bent, but lift. This is how you practice this. and then push up to straight arms. Child's pose. Good. Yeah, it's amazing. We want to have this feeling of support for our lower back, but then when we're in a position like plank, a modified plank, and we're asked to actually use our abdominals or to use part of our body to support the lower spine, we're like, I don't know how to do that. What are you preparing for? Preparing for this feeling of being 100% supported. What do you mean I have to do it myself? What do you mean I have to find the ways that I have not been supporting my own body? And then receive what you just did, even if it was a struggle, receive. Walk yourself back up to hands and knees, please. Downward facing dog. Good. Left leg comes up and back, down dog split, reaching out through that heel, drawing the low belly in and up, and then step left foot between the hands, lunge. Right foot comes to 45 degrees, so you can step it wider to the right if you need. Inhale the arms up to warrior one, hips facing straight ahead. Good, so your front knee pointing towards second or third toe, so bring it a little wider, Debbie. There you go, nice Heidi. Good, Diane. Good, and you're sending that outer right hip spinning forward a little more. Nice, Sharon. Good, send that right hip forward a little more, Mark. Yeah, there you go, and then bend your front knee more. That's it. Good, you guys. And then you're lifting through the front of your belly, through the front of your chest, almost like warrior one always feels like you're almost coming into a little bit of a back bend, right? But the back bend is one that is starting from the top of your back thigh. So send your back thigh a little higher back behind you. Good. And then nice long arms. So Melody, really reach through those fingertips. Nice. And then don't get tired here. Good. Warrior one, right? That preparation pose, it's often called. Preparing to take action. Nice. Take your torso forward, please, parallel to the floor. Good. Stay there. Just spin your back heel up. So you're in a balancing lunge. And then you're pushing off of that back foot. Step into warrior three. Good. I know I'm challenging your core and I'm challenging how much momentum you like to use coming into a balance pose. Trick to balancing poses is don't use a lot of momentum. It makes it much harder to stay steady. Step back to high lunge, arms to the sky. Good. Soft landing. Don't fall onto that back foot. Good. And then torso parallel to the floor. Lean forward, push off of that back leg, come into warrior three. Stay just as low. When you place your torso, stay there. And then kick that left leg up. Good. Back of your heart reaches to the sky. Hands to heart center, please. Pull up. Push your butt to the sky. And then start to bow forward, hands at your heart. Stay with your navel. Kick that heel higher. Good. And then hands down to the floor or block. Standing split. Nice, you guys. Good. And then bend your, what leg is that? Right knee. Kick your heel in towards your butt. Stack the hip on top of the left. And make circles with that knee, little circles. They can be big too, but I don't want your whole body to be flopping around because you're doing those circles. I want it to really be coming from your hip, coming from your pelvis, activity of the leg. Good. And then lift and open, stacking right hip on top of left. Left hand stays on the floor or on a block. Watch that your left leg, your standing leg, that your hip, your butt is not rotating forward. Pull the top of that left thigh back. Good. And then take the right arm to the sky if you'd like for that bent knee Ardha Chandrasana. Nice. So your torso is following the opening of your pelvis. You're drawing that right knee back. So it's a long line from your armpit to your knee. Good. Good. Lift that inner knee a little higher, Ronnie. That's it. Good, you guys. And then extend that leg out to straight, full Ardha Chandrasana. Nice, Laura. And then step all the way back to a nice long lunge. Release the hands down to the floor. Left foot is still forward. Just step your back foot forward just a little bit until both legs can come to straight. Parsvottanasana. Again, using blocks if you'd like. Good. Long exhales. Good. Receive the results of your effort. Whatever you are preparing for, you start to see it in yourself now. See it in your life now. Because that Shakti energy doesn't come in, right? So we get to that point of Navaratri and we're inviting that energy in and we're doing whatever it is we think we're doing with it. And depending on our preparation, if we've really looked at the things in ourselves that we already believe are standing in the way of what we want, we've already started to do some of that process of letting go, then when that energy comes in, it's able to just cultivate, or it's able to expand the seeds of what we want that's already there. But what happens for most of us is we wait until the moment we say, okay, it's Navaratri, now I'm going to do the work. So we spend that whole time that energy is high, that we're inviting it in to go through that process of just reorganizing. We miss the potency. Our effort is still meaningful, but we don't get as far as we could have. We don't receive as much as we might have. Bend that front knee, step forward, top of your mat. Good. Bend the knees again, dropping back towards chair. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Hands at heart center, please. Prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Good. Pushing the inner knee slightly wide. Drawing your low belly in, opening the heart to the sky, and then draw your armpits towards each other. So it's not so much a squeezing of the shoulder blades, or there's a little bit of that, but it's more squeezing your armpits. Good. And then look down towards the floor, please. Stay hooked in the twist. If you can, step your right leg back to a prayer twisting high lunge. Yep. Awesome. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. And then release the twist. Inhale the arms up to the sky. High lunge. Reach. Good. Bring the arms forward. Torso parallels the floor. Step up. Warrior 3. Kick that thigh high. This is where you practice letting go. You're in the middle of something difficult. Don't grip. Nice. Right hand drops down to the floor, please. Or block. Left arm turns to the sky. Turn your belly towards the left. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Pull the top of that left thigh back, Sandy. That's it. And then release both hands down to the floor, standing split. Pause there a moment. Don't give up. Nice. And then release that right foot alongside the left, standing forward fold. Separate your feet nice and wide. Turn your toes out. Come down, squat. Suddenly you're grateful for squat. Right? It's one of my favorite things about asana is that you can become grateful for any position if you do something before it, right, that makes you grateful for it. What are you preparing yourself for? I guarantee your life has given you reasons to be grateful for a lot of things. It's already prepared you for realization. It already is preparing you for realization. So what is still standing in the way? Start to notice that so that before the moment comes, before Navaratri is here, you are already letting go of your attachment to your association with those things. Then you can go deep. Every breath takes you deep when you get skillful at letting go. Hands to the floor, please. Straighten the legs, turn your toes forward and bow. And practice receiving, right? If letting go, again, sounds like an experience that you're not sure about, just practice receiving. If you're really receiving what's here, then whatever is no longer really present will start to dissipate. It'll seem like it isn't there. Same thing, it's just coming from the other direction. Good. Heel toe your feet a little closer, please. Bend your knees, come into chair. Inhale the arms up alongside your ears. Good. Hands at heart center. Prayer twist, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Good. So there's a widening of the inner knees. Send your groins back, thighs back. Good. Nice, you guys. And again, you're drawing your low armpits towards each other. So you're squeezing the outer arms towards your back so your chest opens. Good. And then look down towards the floor, please. Good. Step your left leg back to that high lunge variation, still in the twist if you can. If you need it to come out, that's okay. Twist the other way, Debbie, or step the other foot back. Yeah, step your right leg back. There you go. Nice, you guys. Good. And then come all the way back to center. Inhale the arms to the sky, high lunge. Nice job. Stay with your breath. Good. Take your torso forward, parallel to the floor. Come up to warrior three. Again, push off of that back leg. So you're using the energy of the back leg from the moment that you prepare to come into warrior three. That leg is steady, strong. Good. And then left hand is going to touch down to the floor. Please turn your belly towards the right. Right arm comes up. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. And if that transition felt like a ridiculous one, it is. Good. And then release both hands to the floor, standing split. Don't drop that leg yet. Nice. And then bring the left foot forward alongside the right. Separate your feet, turn your toes out, drop down, squat. Good. Long breaths. Nice, you guys. I got teased during teacher training for having them stay in a high squat for too long. Cheryl has vowed vengeance for them at some point. She's going to make me stay in a high squat for too long. I didn't think it was too long, but you know, there's a moment, right? Any position that you're in, you can either receive what's here or you can get really grippy because your mind is so ready to get away from it that you can't even feel. So even if this is hard and you're like, no, I really do have to get out. My knees don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely, if your knees don't like it. But can you pause for one more breath and really receive squat? Even if you're like, I'm not sure that I like it, receive the benefits. Then come out, hands to the floor, straighten your legs, bow forward. That's the trick, right? That if our mind is so ready to get on to the next thing or so ready to go backwards to what happened before, is that we don't get to actually feel. And what is self-realization? It's being immersed in feeling, in being. So we ask for it, but then when it actually comes to us, we're like, nope, I'd like to go distract myself doing something else. Good. Opportunity for crow pose here. So if you would like to come back to that little squat, and you can come up on your tippy toes, bend your knees. Good. And if crow pose is just not going to happen for you, come onto your back into happy baby pose, please. But if you are coming into crow, you're doing that little squat pose. You're coming onto your hands. You got to lift your butt higher in that squat and come up on your tippy toes. And then roll forward onto your hands. Elbows bend to that chaturanga position, 90 degrees. Round your back, pull up through your navel. Squeeze the upper arms towards each other, the armpits towards each other. Knees go high up on the arms and squeeze in. Good. If you are in happy baby, please, then I want you to actually take your arms reaching through your legs, round your back and lift your shoulders up and squeeze your knees towards your side ribs. So it's like you're doing crow, you're just on your back. So no hands on your legs. Draw those knees down and in, squeeze. Good. And push through the arms. Nice. Draw those knees in and squeeze. Scoop your belly. Awesome. And then slowly release wherever you're at. Really good. I saw a lot of nice crow poses. It was nice, Ronnie. Good, Pam. Good, Alice. Nice, everybody who's on their backs too. Good. If you're on your back, pull your knees in towards your chest, please. Roll up to sit. Come down to sit if you are in crow. Baddha Konasana. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. So wherever you wander to, come back to Baddha Konasana. Good. Sitting nice and tall. Nice. Arms up alongside your ears. Press down into your feet, squeeze your knees up just a little bit, and then start to lean forward, bow forward from your pelvis. So the front of your pelvis has to tip forward. And your tail has to reach back. Good. And extend and extend and extend and extend and extend. Good. And then let the hands touch down. Nice. Let the knees fall open. Relax that squeeze of the legs and drop into the pose. So actually let yourself receive. Good. Nice, you guys. Take one more breath. And then walk your hands back up, please. Good. Cross the ankles, roll forward onto hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Good. Take your right leg up and back, down dog split. Nice. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the right hip on top of the left. Good. So again, drawing that knee nice and long, scooping your belly. So even as you stack that knee or you stack that hip, is you're not arching your lower spine. You're actually drawing the front of your pelvis up towards the front of your ribs. Good. And then point that knee down towards the floor. Take that right knee forward and wide, pigeon pose. Right knee towards the right wrist, slide the left leg back. Good. You got it. Yep. Scooping the belly just a little bit. So stay on your fingertips for a moment, round into your back. So pull the ribs in, pull the top of your pelvis up. Good. And send the top of that left hip spinning forward a little bit more. There you go, Heidi. And then walk yourself forward. But I want you to stay lifted through your low belly as long as you can. So as you come forward, you stay lifted through the low part of your navel, but you relax and broaden through the upper shoulders, the upper back. Nice. Good. And can you breathe again into the space that is not just the back of your rib cage or the back of your shoulders, where maybe it's easier to feel? Can you start to feel the expansion across the lower space of your ribs and your low back? Actually feel your breath happening there. And what's interesting is I find for me anyway, and I think this is true for most people if we really let ourselves feel, is that when we start to breathe into the places in our bodies that are habitually tight or have been injured or that are used to holding us up, and we start to do nothing but actually breathe and expand into that place, and we feel that pull, right? We feel the tightness and we breathe into it, breathe against it. Then what usually starts to come up is emotion. And maybe it's emotion that you can tie to a specific event or a specific thing, but maybe it's just emotion. And I breathe into my lower back and I want to cry. I don't know about what. But this is the actual preparation work. This is the actual making space for there to be the rising or the cultivation of whatever it is that you wish for. This is what stands in the way. So all of your effort, everything that you've done to try to make the best life, to make the best you. What is the result of that effort if it's not to feel? So practice feeling. We practice feeling without categorizing or judging. And that's not always easy to do, but we practice. So that when the moment comes, the moments of great joy, the moments of deep celebration, the moments where we're allowing ourselves to feel like nothing is wrong, then we can receive that. And those moments happen spontaneously. That's also the joke, is that everything that you're asking for, it's not going to happen because you did this, that, and the other thing. And therefore, the moment that you stop doing those things, it's going to be there. It happens spontaneously. Take one more breath, still breathing into that deep space of your low belly, of your back body. Then walk your hands back up, please. Good. Sit towards that right hip, please. Swing your left leg around so you can cross your left thigh on top of, or your left knee on top of your right. Gomukhasana. If stacking your knees here, sometimes putting a blanket under you or a block helps if it's a little bit tricky of a position. If it doesn't work for your knees or for your pelvis, then just take your left shin in front of your right with the legs crossed. Good. Or Debbie, you're perfect doing it on your back right where you are. Nice. So flex your feet, please, wherever you are. Good. And then either hands come back behind you just to press into your fingertips and lift your spine, or take a forward fold if the legs will allow. Good. Keep your feet flexed if you're coming forward. Nice. And again, breathe into that space of your lower back. Even if coming forward, you're like, oh, okay, it's pulling. Oh, okay, that's tight. Stay there and breathe into it. And not because you think by staying there that you're going to make it change, but because if you don't receive what's there, then there is no going forward. Have to receive what's here. Good. Nice, you guys. One more deep breath. And then walk yourself back up, please. Beautiful. Unwind your legs, roll forward onto hands and knees, step back to plank pose. Good. Squeeze your hands and your feet towards each other. Nice. Lower down halfway and pause. If you need to bring your knees to the floor, bring your knees to the floor, but keep your ribs and your hips in the same line. Good. Press into your hands, pull your butt up higher, and then press back up to straight arms. Almost, Pam. Good. One more time. Lower down halfway. Pause. Yeah, the trick is don't drop your inner thighs. Push your inner thighs up, up, up. Low belly, up, up, up. Come back to straight arms. Yes. Really good, Pam. Nice. And then lower down slow all the way to your belly with that same attention. Ribs and thighs meet the floor at the same time. Good. Point your toes, please. Rise up, cobra. Pam was not the only one that I was watching during that. Good job, you guys. Downward facing dog. Yeah, we do plank in class frequently, but we don't work in plank often. That's why I've been in a plank mood. Left leg up and back, down dog split. Bend the knee, take your heel in towards your butt, stack the left hip on top of the right. Opening, 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 drawing that knee again longer back behind you. So it's not so much that you're trying to push your foot back, but you're trying to take that angle from your left armpit through your left knee a little bit longer. Good, Sharon, just keep your left armpit reaching down towards the floor so you're not opening all the way through your ribs. That's it. Point the left knee facing down, please, and then bring that left knee forward and wide pigeon. Good. Right leg slides back. Front foot stays awake. And then before you come all the way forward, I want you to press into your hands, round your back. So you're lifting through the front part of your pelvis and getting into the space at the back of your ribs. Then walk yourself forward with that rounded back. Good. Send that outer right hip forward a little bit more. Nice. And as you come down to rest on your forearms or your blocks or whatever you're resting on, I want you to try to stay present with that lift of your low belly. Good. And then relax through the upper spine. So if being connected to your low belly means that you are also automatically tense in your upper back, practice doing one and not the other. So find the engagement of the low navel, but then actively relax your upper back. Good. And then again, sending your breath into the space of your low rib cage, your lower spine. Even if you're on your back, you can do that. You can breathe by pushing into that lower back space, into the floor. Good. Navaratri begins next Saturday. In case you're marking your calendar so you can all get your dogs in order and whatever. You don't need dogs, I'm just kidding. No requirements for dogs. No requirements to do the specific rituals, right, that come from the Indian tradition. Right? The whole suggestion is, can you invite in the energy of transformation? The energy of transformation that is finding your own innate courage, even better, your own innate fearlessness. to accomplish whatever in your life has needed your attention and you haven't given it to it? And can you connect to your own generosity, right? That's Lakshmi. Can you connect to that space where you are able to give without expectation of receiving, but knowing that you will receive? Whatever you need will be brought. You don't have to know how. And can you connect to your own deep intuition that says, I can take the knowledge of my life, the experience of my life, and make it wisdom? There's nothing that has created a brokenness in me if I understand it. I see things from the highest perspective. And therefore, my life enlightens me. Saraswati. So if any of that sounds good to you, well, then celebrate Navaratri. And Cheryl and I are doing some fun Navaratri offerings, so keep your eyes open. If you never let yourself have that moment where you receive the benefits of your effort and where you get clear about what you are preparing yourself for and why, and that transformative energy, even if you invite it in, it's got nowhere to move. So we let go of yesterday. We let go of tomorrow. Whatever it is that you wish for, start receiving it. Good. Walk your hands back up, please. Sit towards that left hip, please. Swing your right leg around. If you're on your back, you can stay there. If you want to do a Gomukhasana on your back, you could do that. So if you're on your back, you can stay. But if you're coming up, stack that right knee on top of your left. Good. And again, if you need to have shin in front of shin, that's fine. If you need a prop underneath you, that also can be helpful. You should be sitting, again, not on either of your heels. So there should be space for your sit bones on the ground. Flex your feet. And then either hands come back behind you, sitting up tall, because maybe that's just enough of a hip opener, or bow forward if the knees and the hips will allow. Good. And again, breathe into the space of your lower spine. So the little lift of your low belly that is going to support the structure of the lower back. And then send your breath there. Do your preparations well, so that when the moment comes when you can receive, you are prepared to just receive. Let the celebration be a celebration. There's no more work to be done. That's the blessing of the goddess. She says there's no more work to be done. At the end of Navaratri, she says all the demons are slain. There's no more work to be done. You just celebrate. So will you allow yourself that? Because I promise that the only thing standing between you and what you want is you. There's a lot of other details that can be reorganized to make it easier to see on the outside, but the only thing standing in the way between you and what you want is you. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice. Unwind your legs. Roll forward, hands and knees, step back plank pose. Good. Vasisthasana, bring your feet together, please. Roll onto the baby toe edge of your right foot. Right arm holds you, left arm to the sky. Good. Pull away from the floor. So push your hips up to the sky. Good. Nice. And then top leg, bend your left knee, kick your heel back towards your butt. Maybe reach with the left hand to find the foot or the ankle. So it's like you're coming into a quad stretch or dancer pose, but you're in Vasisthasana. Yeah, if that sounds crazy, maybe don't reach for the foot. Nice. And then extend all the way back to Vasisthasana. Awesome. Come back downward facing dog. Nice option there, Heidi. Deep breath in. Good, Sarah. Deep breath out. Good. Try the second side. Come forward to hands and knees. not hands and knees, sorry, forward to plank. My gosh, don't do it from hands and knees. Vasisthasana, left hand holds you, turn onto the baby toe of your left foot, right arm to the sky. Open your chest, push through that left arm, reach through your right side ribs. Good. And then top leg, bend the knee, kick your heel back. Good. Maybe that's far enough. And or reach back for the foot or the ankle. Nice, Sarah. That's perfect. Just stay there. Good. Nice, Jackie. Nice variations. Good, Debbie. Good. Step it back to side plank. Nice, Anju. Good, Sue. And then all the way back downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And then knees to the floor, child's pose. Good. Oh. Walk your torso to the right, please, over the right thigh. Good. Come back to center, walk over the left thigh. Good. Come back to center. Walk yourself back up, please. Come onto your butt, bring your legs out in front of you. Plant your feet. Hands behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels if you can. If they need to turn out slightly, that's okay. Hands underneath the shoulders. Good. Yeah, lean back slightly so that you can bend your elbows. And by bending your elbows, again, you get into how your arms are connecting to your shoulders. And then with the elbows bent, start to lift your chest up. Good. And then pull your ribs in. So hips are still on the floor. Just work the upper back. So ribs in, but lift your chest. So you're working that rotation of the arms. Good. And then navel in, push into your hands, lift your inner thighs, lift your butt up off of the floor as you straighten your arms, come into reverse table. Good. But it's your chest that's lifting up. So it's the back of your heart still trying to move between the arms. And it's your inner thighs that are lifting. Nice. And your tail pulls towards your heels. And then can you take a moment and feel that you're so open here, you're pushing into every extremity, and celebrate that. Celebrate this moment, even if you're like, this is not a fun position for me. Good. Release the hips down to the floor. Nice job. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Good. Right leg stays straight. Bend the left knee. Bring the bottom of the foot to the inside of the right leg. Let your knee go wide. Janu Shirshasana. Inhale the arms up. Little twist to your right and bow forward. Good. Turning from that low place of your waist. So your left side body has to really spin forward. Good, you guys. You find typically, especially when we do a lot of work, we do a lot of active poses, is that by the end of an asana class, your brain has kind of just gone somewhere else. Your mind is somewhere else. It's part of why we practice. It moves your prana, helps it settle whatever has been stagnant or over agitated begins to settle. So it's in that state that you can start to receive what's really there. So don't send your mind back to yesterday to pick up what was yesterday. Don't send it forward to try and pick up tomorrow. Don't mess up. It's moment of equilibrium. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Switch your legs. Left leg comes forward. Bend the right knee, bottom of the foot to the inside of the left leg. Take the arms to the sky. Little twist to your left and bow forward. Good. So it's again that low space of the waist that is turning towards that extended leg. So even if you feel like you don't come forward very far, wherever your hands rest, if you really work at turning that right low belly towards the left, that's what's going to make the space in your lower back. It's that twist. Because you're stretching those long muscles of the back as they attach to your pelvis. So don't worry about how far forward can I come. Don't fight with your hamstrings, but work that space where your trunk meets your pelvis. Good. Be prepared to receive what you are asking for. That's what all of the work is for, isn't it? Good. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice job. Take both legs nice and wide. So a wide straddle, Upavista Konasana. Fancy way of saying straddle. Good. And then dig your heels down and drag back so that your knees lift up and your thighs, tops of your thighs press down. So you're dragging those legs in towards the center of your pelvis. Good. Pop your knees up a lot. Yep. Drag those heels in so your knees pop up a lot. There you go. And then start to walk forward, please. Make sure that your toes are pretty much straight up and down. They're not falling out or falling in. Yeah. And then lean forward, walk forward. You got it, Sarah. Good. Nice, Laura. Bring your knees a little higher, Laura. There you go. Good. So again, this is working your pelvis a little bit more, taking the stretch out of just a straight groin and hamstring and bringing it more into now I can feel my back. Yeah. And this is the thing, right? Is don't just keep fighting with yourself. Good. Prepare for what you want to feel. And then be willing to accept it. Be willing to receive it. Good. One more breath with the knees bent, squeeze in. And then stay low, stay where you are, but start to push the heels back out, bring the thighs back down to the floor, but maintain that feeling, good, of reaching through your spine. Nice. And then walk yourself back up. Good job, you guys. Bring the legs back together, scoot forward onto your backs, or scoot forward and come onto your backs. Good. Nice. Bend your knees, please. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. And then just begin to windshield wiper the legs. So dropping the knees to the right and then to the left. Good. So feet on the floor, Perry. There you go. And let the knees go side to side. Yeah. And if this feels like, again, I know why I'm asking you to do this, but if this feels like you're like, this is not very happy on my lower back, bring your feet closer together and let the knees fall side to side. Good. And then come back to stillness, please. Yep. Bring the knees in towards your chest. Cross the right thigh on top of the left. So you're wrapping the right thigh and the shins for eagle. So right leg on top of left, squeeze your shins together. Good. So not holding the feet. So knees are stacked, shins pressed together. Legs are in eagle, no hands. Yeah, bring your knees slightly forward so they're on top of your hips. Good. Don't let your feet fall towards the floor. Keep them lifted. And then wrap the left arm on top of your right in front of your chest. Good. Don't let your hands fall onto your face. Find your lower spine. Find your upper spine. Drag those armpits down towards the floor so you feel your whole upper back. You feel your whole lower spine. Good. So you're getting wide through your sacrum. You're getting wide through your back ribs. And the legs and the arms are just holding themselves there. So it's not a squeeze that's pulling you away from your back body. It's just a hug. Good. And then deep breath in and exhale. Bring your knees and elbows towards each other, around the back, squeeze. Nice. And then release, please. Hugging the knees in towards the chest, unwind. Good. And go to the other side. Left leg stacks on top of right. Good. Squeezing the shins together And then right arm comes on top of left in front of your chest. The knees come slightly forward so that they're really on top of your hips. Shins parallel to the floor, so don't let your feet drop. Don't let your hands fall onto your face. Good, but then get wide through the back of your rib cage. Get wide through your lower spine. Nice. Good, you guys. Deep breath in, feel the wideness of your breath. And then exhale, bring the elbows and the knees towards each other around your back. Good, still feeling the wideness of your back body, just rounded. And then slowly release. Nice job. Unwind the legs, hug the knees in towards the chest. Good, come into happy baby, draw the knees wide, reach for your ankles or your feet. Good, and relaxing the shoulders, like the shoulders are dead weight. So Perry, take your feet up towards the ceiling more and maybe hold your ankles instead. No, you're okay there. But I want your shoulders to feel like they're dead weight. So maybe that means that you hold lower on the leg so that you can really relax your upper back down to the floor. Good. Nice, you guys. Low back presses down to the floor. Beautiful. And then bring the knees back to center, please. Squeeze. Good. Scoot your hips over to the left. Drop your knees to the right. Good. Again, knees right on top of each other and a little higher up towards your belly. It's the nicest position for your pelvis. So if there is lower back stuff, important that you let the knees stay in line with each other so the hips stay in line with each other. Good. And then come back to center, please. Move your hips over to the right, drop your knees to the left. And same thing. Knees in line with your hips or slightly higher, and try to keep them in line with each other. If that means that your right arm can't comfortably come back behind you, well, then stretch it up alongside your ear. Again, the point is that you are breathing wide through your lower back and through your back rib cage. So maybe even just a little bit, you let that right armpit start to slide back. Good. Nice, you guys. And then come back to center, please. Squeeze the knees in, forehead up to meet your knees. This isn't just a fun pose. This is actually Apanasana, right? The idea of I squeeze in and I allow whatever is ready to leave. So squeeze and then let go. Stretch the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms up. And Shavasana is the ultimate pose of doing nothing but receiving the results of your effort, whatever they are. There is no doing. Even if your mind is still trying to do, use your exhales to say, I let go of that, whatever that thought is. And maybe you don't even do that. Maybe you just breathe wider than whatever the thinking happens to be. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. The body begin to stretch, move, in whatever ways serve it well. As you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and roll to your right side. Taking a moment there before you begin to push the floor away, come back to an upright seated position. And bringing the hands together, either palm to palm at the heart or spreading the middle 3 fingers wide, pinkies and thumbs to touch in the lotus mudra. Can still rest at the heart. I heard someone yesterday, a yoga teacher, saying that with these Zoom classes, we've been doing shorter shavasanas. I know in my mind that's because I'm teaching a shorter class. But the idea, she said, that is that she thinks that people are just ready to get up and go. They're not in that state where they want to stay. Don't skip your shavasanas. Even if it is shorter, don't skip it. Don't skip the opportunity to really receive what you have put effort into. Don't skip the opportunity to celebrate what you are cultivating in yourself. Don't skip it. I don't care how busy you are. Because this is what we're learning with the spiritual practice, is that if you don't receive these things now, there's no tomorrow where they're going to be more available. You have to learn to receive it now. That is the whole practice, is learning how to receive. We have all of our preparation, everything that we know to do to make space. But if you never stop and let yourself receive, then what is all the effort for? So don't skip it. There's an opportunity to celebrate unadulterated joy. That's why the lotus mudra, you have to have the moment where you let yourself bloom. So breathe into that. Anything that you wish for, it's already being given to you. Start to realize it, receive it. And then use the energy, right? Navaratri is coming. Use that energy to go deeper. It's there. Close with the sound of Om. Either keep your hands where they are or close them, your choice. Deep breath in. Bringing the hands together and sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. If you're staying for meditation, you don't have to get off. You can stay on or get off and come back, your choice. You have to unmute yourself if you want to say anything to me.